And just like that, summer's over. And thank God. NFL football starts today. I can see my breath. The past couple weeks I've been getting up. So you know what it's time to do? Let's talk about some horror movies. Now, I'm going to call these my top 5 horror movies of all time for now. I get swayed by recency bias constantly, and then once I kind of calm down from the moment, I realize like, oh, that was fine. But I spent a lot of time on Letterboxd over the past few weeks that I haven't really been making videos or anything. I've just been kind of trying to study up on horror movies in general. And I've just been scrolling through title after title after title. Also not realizing how many of these movies I'd already seen. But I think these 5 sort of, at least in this moment, are my favorite horror movies. Also, these are in no particular order. I didn't feel like ranking them. These are just my 5 movies. Also, likely heavy spoilers up ahead. But let's get started with the first movie, which is The Strangers from 2008. I know that there's been 2 sequels now since then, completely needless in my opinion. But I saw this movie in theaters and it f***ed me up. Home invasion is scary as hell, especially now that I have a home to be invaded. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, I'm going to spoil it. The movie starts with 2 people driving. They were at a wedding, and weirdly, the guy in the movie proposes to Liv Tyler, shout out Liv Tyler, at a wedding. Is that a thing people do? Doesn't that sort of like take away from that person's day? But they're just all depressed. They drive to the guy's family's house, which is in the middle of a neighborhood, quiet neighborhood, but still in the middle of a neighborhood. And this movie is just like a bummer all the way through. It doesn't really let off at any point. It's just sad and heavy and fun. Now, I was 18 when this movie came out, so this was definitely, they were aiming for me when they shot this. And they shot me right between the eyes with this movie. Obviously, I'm still talking about it all these years later. And also, back when I was 18, I didn't like Sonny. I just knew Glenn Howerton as that guy from Sonny. Now I love him, and I feel bad about what happens to him. Pretty rough. Told you there were going to be spoilers here. Let's not act like we're surprised. This movie also has one of those lines from a horror movie that just gets ingrained in, which is there's a scene where Liv Tyler's like screaming, "Why are you doing this?" And all of the antagonists are behind masks, and chick just goes,
"Because you were home."
And damn, I fucking love that line so much. The Strangers is not a great movie, but it's a fun movie for me. It's one that really scared me when I was 18, and now I'm almost 40, and it's still spooky. Not as spooky, obviously, but if I can't find something to watch, I'll just throw on The Strangers. For the next movie on my list, we're going back to 2001. Maybe Before the Towers Fell, I'm not completely sure. For this movie, I love this movie. I've probably talked about this movie in other videos of mine, and I just refuse to do my homework, and I just have a terrible memory. But Dagon. This movie reminds me so much of just the early days of the Sci-Fi Channel. Not what it's become now, but back when they would put out movies like Giant Shark versus Mecha Anaconda and stuff like that. This movie was made specifically for like Sci-Fi at Night or something like that. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Dagon, it's a short story by H.P. Lovecraft, and the fact they were able to pull a whole movie out of this short story is incredible to me. So just to give a quick synopsis, basically, it's a guy, his wife or fiance, and her parents, and they're on a boat, and they're out sailing, and the boat crashes into something, and everybody goes missing. And this guy, the guy ends up surviving, and he goes to a fishing village called Imboka. When he gets to Imboka, he's like, man, this place is really weird. All the people are super weird. What's going on? And then he meets the best character in this movie, who is a homeless man who lives on Imboka. Dude, they just straight up, I think, found a homeless man and were like, give him lines in English, very clearly not anywhere even close to like his third language, and just put him on camera constantly. implore you to tell me everything that man says in this movie. You cannot do it. But I think that the team who shot it were probably just afraid to ask that guy to go again. And I don't blame him. He's scary. And, you know, them basically finding a homeless guy. Like, there is no one of note in this movie at all. And after a little bit of research, I cannot believe that that movie cost almost $5 million to make. That is an unbelievable amount of money for what day it had to have been spent on the CGI. And also, it is early 2000s CGI. It is so I love it. The movie is absolutely wacky. It's so poorly lit, you can't see half of it. You can't understand half of it. And I'm going to watch this movie for the rest of my life. If there's a way to ingrain a movie into a tombstone when I die, put this movie on repeat, or this movie and WALL-E back to back, just into eternity. We're a little closer to now with the third movie on the list, which is Barbarian from 2022. I know this movie had a lot of hype surrounding it, and I usually try to avoid movies with hype, but anything made by a former member of Whitest Kids You Know, I'm gonna check out. And Zach, especially, has been crushing it. I'll try to give you a really quick breakdown of this movie. Basically, a woman rents an Airbnb. Turns out the person who rents the Airbnb double booked. And double booked it with who? Bill Skarsgård. They end up hanging out or whatever. And then they're like, yo, I need to go to the basement because movie. Go downstairs. Find a weird door. They go through the door and find this weird, dark series of tunnels and weird rooms. And I love a scary creature. And the creature in this movie was perfect because it is a barbarian in like the truest sense. Maybe not in the truest sense. It does show nurture, but it's fucking huge and it's fucking scary. And the big names don't stop at Skarsgård. You got Justin Long, who's in the entire back end of this movie. His character is a huge piece of shit, but he is a good actor and great in this movie. And the feeding scenes in this movie are just so yucky. Oh, God. So good, though. So much fun. Now, we're headed back to freshman year of high school, 2004, for this movie. It is... There were a lot of cheesy, annoying parody movies that came out in the 2000s. Here's a bunch on screen now. Like, 2 of those were funny. This movie is the bar as far as I'm concerned. It's Shaun of the Dead. I'm likely to check out anything with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost in it. Hot Fuzz is an absolute banger. And the best part is they wrote a comedy movie but took the horror aspect so seriously. The scene where David just gets actually ripped open from the belly button is just as gory as actual Dawn of the Dead. And I know that shot is supposed to mimic another movie. I'm blanking on it. Kill me in the comments. Go for it. And this movie is full of memorable and quotable lines. I say "you've got red on you" to my kid all the time. He has no idea what I'm talking about because he's 4, but I get him with that constantly. Or if someone says hip hop, I'll go, "It's not hip hop, it's electro." Prick. For a quick synopsis of this movie, if you somehow haven't seen Shaun of the Dead, it's just a dude who works at a appliance shop and his best buddy and his girlfriend and her friends, and there's a zombie apocalypse, and it's just from their perspective, and it's a great movie. Especially if you're looking for like a best friend movie, this is an amazing best friends movie. Shaun of the Dead rode that line perfectly between comedy, movie, and horror. When it needed to be scary, it could be really scary. And the action scenes are also great. So round up the homies and watch Shaun of the Dead. But before we get to the last movie on the list, I have 2 honorable mentions that I also love, but I don't love enough to put on this list, which is Babadook, which just, love that movie. I first saw the memes of the kids screaming, and it did initially turn me off to the movie because children screaming really just, like, gnarls up my insides and makes my head feel like it's full of bees. But the Babadook was so much fun. That was a that was a creepy ass movie. And it was a fun way to talk about grief as well. Like, everybody has their own Babadook, basically. It's just about feeding your Babadook and not letting your Babadook run your life. And then the other honorable mention is a movie I watched recently because it came out pretty recently, is Bring Her Back. Man, you guys just keep killing it. Like, Bring Her Back. So Talk to Me, it's made by the guys who made Talk to Me. Talk to Me was a lot of fun. Nice, like, fun little, like, allegory type thing for, like, drugs and alcohol and, like, crazy shit. Bring Her Back is, I guess I like movies about grief, but this movie is, I guess it's kind of the opposite end of the Babadook. If you just decided, you know what, I'm actually just going to feed someone to my Babadook and just let them have their way with it. It is a great movie, and the last shot, I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to be that person because this one's a newer movie. All the movies on my list have been out for a while. If you haven't seen those, that's on you. This movie just came out this year. I'll be cool. But the last shot, I was like, damn, put that shit on a hoodie and I will wear that every day. But the final movie on my list for now, in this year, 2025, is another movie that I slept on for seemingly no reason. And my wife and I immediately got completely caught up on every available bit of it. But that's Creep from 2014. Mark Duplass is an inspiration to me. His work has always been really inspiring to me. Even The League is where I got introduced to him as Pete. Great character. Not my favorite character in the show, but an absolute menace on the show. And a character that has to be there. But seeing him swing from this, like, goofy douche in The League to the embodiment of the word creep, he kills this character. This character makes me feel so odd. And I'm a total skis for found footage, so these movies also scratch like a double itch for me. But watching him put on Wolfie and just dance around, and the Creep tapes, I just saw that some film festival got a sneak peek of season 2, and I wish I was there, oh my god. But all of the Creep tapes were super fun. Both of the Creep movies were super fun. The second one is just as good as the first. I know there's always that, but what? No, the second one is just as good as the first movie. I almost chose that one over this one, but this one I just think it really just kills this form, like, in the best way. Kills it in the best way, not ruins the franchise. Like, Creep is so fun. He is such a he's a creep, obviously, but the character is just so weird and awful and then super genuine. It's like he just spins this emotion wheel and then just goes, okay, and then spins it again and just dives into it. And it's like the ability to just go from like being like super heavy and then just snap out of it and turn into like a giant child is just so funny and cool and creepy. And man, I love Creep so much. But there you have it, guys. Those are my top 5 horror movies at this moment in time. I don't know if I'm going to make this a yearly video because I don't think the list is going to change all that much. And if I hear something cool, or if I see something cool, I can just tell you about it. But I highly suggest you go watch any of the movies I suggested, even the honorable mentions. Honestly, really do go watch Bring Her Back. It is a really weird and cool ass movie. But what are your 5 favorite horror movies right now? What are your 10 favorite horror movies right now? Let me know down below. If you want to check out some more exclusive content, you can head over to my Patreon, which is also linked down below. I drop newsletters, which just mostly contain like music and videos I've been watching lately. I've been talking with some of my patrons about doing sort of like a story time or like a book club sort of thing going forward. There's a free tier, there's all the way up to a $5 tier, and there's a $1 and a $3 tier in between. Please do not sign up if you don't want to, and please do not spend money on me if you don't have it. Please don't do that. But the Halloween season is upon us, friends. I am working on my 31 for 31 list. I'm just going to do one for October this year, not December. December's last year was fun, but that was just a little kind of play around idea. Going to do a proper 31 for 31 video coming up. I'm compiling my list. It's long, it's extensive. It's going to be another long video, but it's going to be full of fun ones. So thank you very much as always for watching. Make sure you break out your favorite hoodie. Make sure you watch some super scary movies. And until next time, taffeta.